All right, it's 4 a.m. and I have some thoughts. Okay, so the video I did yesterday, actually, it's still crawling in views. So, but there is an addendum to that because I was actually just having a conversation as I was getting dressed as people responded to Facebook comments. Let's talk about devs and the games they play, because the common comment I see a lot is that everyone's like, the devs need to play their own game. The devs don't play this game. They don't know what's going on. And to that, I respond with, yes, of fucking course they don't play their own game that much. Ask yourself this. Do you go to work for 40 hours a week or more, depending on your job, and then come home to keep doing whatever you did at work? If you're a chef, do you enjoy coming home after cooking for 12 hours in a hot kitchen and then cooking all during your off time? No, my brother's a chef. He hates that shit. There's a reason he goes and eats out so much, because he gets tired of cooking. It's the same with devs. You can't expect them to play their own game on their off time, because they're not going to be able to during work. So during a normal production day, you're going to have a morning meeting, going to go over what you need to go over or any holdovers from the day before. You're then going to work on whatever that is, for several hours, because it's a time-consuming process, whether you're in modeling or coding. You have bugs you got to find, issues you got to fix in a model. You got to retopologize, bring the model into here, make sure it's ready to go for the rigger. Rigger, like me, has to get, there's shit to do. You're busy. You don't just have downtime. There's a reason there's a lot of burnout in the game industry itself, because a lot of games, their employees are working 40 to 80 hours a week. As closer you get to the deadline, the more hours you're pushing in. You don't want to go home and then play the game you're working on. Yes, you may want to play games and relax, but the last thing you want to do is stare at the exact same thing you just stared at for 8+ hours at work. You can't expect anyone to do that. You're not going to, do it for your job. Don't expect them to do it for theirs. They need a break. I mean, you have burnout. And the average time someone lasts in the industry coming out of college is about 5 years. 5 years before they experience burnout and leave the industry. So when you get to the team leads position, those are people that just either survived burnout or don't have a soul left to care, and it's just worn numb. Now, Behavior for Dead by Daylight is a better studio in that terms of their guys usually have a pretty good work-life balance. They're putting in normal 40-hour weeks. They don't have to suffer through crunch time like a lot of other studios do, and that's good for your work-life balance and your mental state. You need a break from this shit. Whether you're playing games or making them, occasionally you got to get up and take a break. And for those that make them, it even more so applies to them, because like I said, back to your daily thing as an animator, game dev, you'll have the morning meetings, your work, your afternoon update to your department leader, not your department lead, the next person in your chain of command, work on your afternoon, and then your afternoon will get cut short because then you'll have your daily meetings, which are like an hour plus, where you have to go in and have all the work you did that day ripped apart by your department lead so they can tell you what you need to redo for the next day, and the cycle will repeat itself daily. There is no time in your workday to sit and just enjoy the game. Especially at work, you definitely just want, when you have downtime, you want to step away from your computer screen. You don't want to stare at it some more. So I think it is incredibly bad of everyone to constantly tell devs, well, you just need to play your own game. That's like me telling you, well, you just need to do whatever you do at work at home because you need to get better. Are you a mechanic? Well, after you're done being a mechanic, you need to go home and watch all these videos about being a mechanic every day during your off day or after work or on weekend. No, don't expect people to do that. You will just get them to hate the industry and leave. And the last thing this industry needs is any more people leaving it. I mean, the job market does suck for us right now. With upcoming AI, a lot of people are disheartened and leaving the industry because they feel like their future in their job is pretty much done. Then there's the firings we've had this year. It's very tough in this industry right now. This is probably, especially on the animation side, this has probably been one of the worst job markets for that in my living memory, which is already causing people to not want to go to college for it. Admissions are down. My college is even calling me to try and help me out by getting me extra free classes so that they can help pad my resume to get me hired, because my college is having a hard time getting people hired right now. And people are seeing this and either pulling out of college or just not applying. And that's dangerous for the future, because if there's this slump on people not applying, and also we go years where there's just no fresh blood coming in, then there's going to be no room for advancements on those that are in the field, because it'll open up too many holes. Game studios will have to cut, or I can't say cut fat, because there won't be any fat left to cut. Things will get delayed, products will be harder to come out, games and their updates will take longer and longer because there's less people working on them. So we have to worry about game dev burnout, and telling them you need to play this on your off time so you know what I'm talking about just reeks of a little bit of entitlement there. Don't expect someone to do something you're not expecting to do, or expecting yourself to do. Either way, that's my thoughts on the matter. I got to get to work. Have a good morning.